This is the very first share of the year, an all-time record for us, June 7th. Our other earliest dates have been June 8th and June 9th, but this is the official earliest start. We've got a great list of stuff. Baby bok choy, looking really good. We've got our pea shoots, the tops of pea plants. And then we have some green onions, looking exceptional today. Some sorrel, a nice lemony green. We have your classic arugula, and then chives and basil from the greenhouse. It's a really, really good share. And then we have some spicy mix for some of the folks. We're just starting to get our first crops of salad mix in out of the field. And later in the week and next week, there'll be plenty more salad to come. You guys get our prime up on your veggie eating skills.
I know.
This is nothing compared to what's coming, seriously.
As you can see in the background here, we have, it's pretty limited, you know, it's spring, it's June 7th today. So we're out here and we have, this is our first share, which is super exciting. The main thing about this whole program is to get everybody a good idea, especially when the farm starts really producing a lot of vegetables and greens. What do you do with all this stuff? And this is just a quick way to show you kind of some clever things about how to treat the vegetables when you first get them. And second of all, how to use them. Let's get started on our first dish, which is gonna be a grilled baby bok choy and salmon skin salad with some fresh sesame seeds. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our bok choy, you're gonna kind of peel these outer leaves here, cut it right in half, and then we're gonna give that a soak. What I'll usually do is get down in there and kind of agitate it a little bit, and then I'll give it a second soak just to kind of get all the rest of the dirt out of there. Nobody likes a little sand in their food. So I like to say, garnished with real dirt. So you just want to kind of dry them out. You don't want to have anything wet going onto the grill because that's going to give you just sort of steam and not char. The more water you can get off the actual vegetable itself, the better. So we're going to go ahead and prep that. Got a little olive oil down, just like that. Just not too much, probably like a teaspoon. Put that down. Kind of get your leaves in there a little bit, get the back on there, and then grab a little bit more, go on the top. And everything when you're cooking, season. Season from the bottom up. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Season both sides, and kind of set that aside. We're gonna work on our salmon. So what you're gonna do is to get a really sharp knife, take your salmon down like this, kind of fold in like this, and just kind of go right down on the bottom. You want a little bit of the meat on the skin, and then pull that off the fillet like that. So what you're left with is a beautiful piece of skin just like that. It's already been scaled, so you don't have to worry about that. Take your other fillet, do the same thing. There you go. Just a little tiny bit of olive oil just to kind of coat that. So we're gonna just do a little bit of salt on that guy. So you can hear that sizzle there. You can start to see a little bit of moisture coming out and starting to see a little bit of bubbling on it. So that grill is quite hot. Just like that. And this is just like a really rich salmon. The skin is full of nutrients. Bears love it. While that's going, why don't we start with our vinaigrette, and we're gonna use just the white parts of the scallion on this. So we're gonna go really thin. And then we're gonna go right in the bowl like that. And then we're gonna hit it with some vinegar, just a touch. You can see the skin all bubbly there. It's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful crispy skin there. This is our final product here. You can see it and hear it. So it's definitely crispy now. So I'm just gonna kind of pull that aside over here. Beautiful bok choy. We got our citrus champagne vinegar, the ends of the white parts of the scallion. And now we have just a little bit of French. You can use any mustard. That's probably a teaspoon there. Just kind of give that a little stir. And we're also gonna do just a little zest, and then we're gonna use the juice. And that just a squeeze of lemon juice there. You want, oh, look at that, boom, perfect color. We're gonna let them rest here on the back side just for a second, and then we're gonna pull them to the side with the salmon skin while we finish our vinaigrette. So 1 part acid and 3 parts oil. In this case, we're using olive oil, and then, you know, just a little squirt of mustard in there. Just going slow with the oil. You don't want to break it, because if you go too fast, your oil is going to separate from your vinegar, and that's no good. Our vinaigrette's finished here, so we're going to go ahead and lay our bok choy down here, but just kind of arrange it. You don't want it to be super fancy. So we're going to take our salmon skin here. We're just gonna kind of just drape that over. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. And we're just gonna kind of dress that, get all a little fancy and cute, and put a little summer on the outside. But make sure you get it down in the crevices of the bok choy. Just right down in there so you can taste that vinaigrette. Just all over. This is the chive blossom that comes off the top of the chive. This is something that's gonna be beautiful and it's gonna taste delicious. And then we're just gonna do like a little tiny chiffonade of basil. Really, really thin. So we're kind of sprinkle the chiffonade right up on top. And then I like to finish with a little bit of nuttiness. So this is a little sesame, roasted sesame seed. Let's finish it with just a squeeze of lemon. So this is our final dish. We have a charred bok choy and a crispy salmon skin salad. Got a little chive blossoms to finish and a little lemon vinaigrette. Whoa. I'm just saying. Wow, you guys better get in here, because I'll crush this thing. We're gonna do our second dish now. So we have our salmon here, raw salmon. We took our skin off for our first dish, and we're just gonna do a little tiny marinade on it, little olive oil, salt and pepper, just kind of light. You wanna always season both sides when you're cooking. So we're gonna set that aside here. And then here's our greens, and with this, we're gonna use the Vitamix. This is a tool that I cannot live without in the kitchen. And our sorrel that's been soaking, and we're just gonna give it a once over to dry it off. My kids love doing that. So that's gonna go in there. Our arugula. We got basil. To kind of richen up this, I'm gonna put just a little bit of olive oil in there, and that's gonna kind of match with that fish stock and just give it a nice body. So that was probably about 3 tablespoons. And then I have that leftover lemon zest, and that's gonna work really nice on the grill with this salmon. So you can see that real pretty there. So now I've cooked off some wild rice that a friend gave me from Minnesota. This stuff is beautiful. So we're gonna add that to our bowl here. We're only gonna do about 3 cakes, so I'm gonna get about that much rice in there. That's probably about a little over a cup of cooked wild rice. So in with the onion. So we're also gonna do a little bit of bias cut scallion, and that's gonna go into the rice there. So just turn it just about, 45, 50 degrees, and just give it a little chop like that. Just a little greenage in there. That goes in with the rice. This is a farm egg, right? Where are the chicken? Look at them, right over there. So we're gonna crack that egg in here. See how beautiful, beautiful. Just the difference of a farm egg is amazing. That's another reason to support your local farmer, is just getting the high quality product. Then we're gonna add a little, very small touch of milk. I like whole milk. You can use cream if you want to, but so that was, 2 tablespoons of milk. And then we have a little all-purpose flour. You can use rice flour if you want, for all the people that are, gluten-free out there. About 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, call it. Take your whisk, just kind of beat that together. And what you're looking for is just a little thickness. Not super thick, a little bit of salt and pepper in there. These are raw pumpkin seeds that I toasted with olive oil and just a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm gonna take probably, I don't know, call it 2 tablespoons. And then I'll add a little bit of sesame seed as well. You don't have to add any of that stuff. But I like a little bit of nuttiness, and it's gonna give you an extra bit of crunch. So now what we're gonna do is marry these two. You need a spatula. You don't want it too eggy. You want it just kind of enough to have it stick and hold together in the pan when you cook it. So there's your base. We got wild rice, scallions, some pumpkin seeds, some sesame seed, a little bit of salt and pepper. Just because I'm a little cheeky, I'm gonna add just a touch of olive oil, kind of richen that up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and mark our salmon. Just lay those boys down on there. All right, so we're back to the salmon here, and this is about done. You can start to see when this, I'll get a close up here. When you start to see that white fat coming out of the salmon, that's kind of right where you want to pull it. What we're doing here is we're marking this and cook it to about rare or medium rare. Set it aside, do your other things, get all the stuff in your preparation, in your dish ready to go. We'll put the salmon back on and finish the dish. And then the salmon will be perfectly cooked by then, not overcooked. So now we got red hot coals. Kind of check the pan with the back of your hand here, and that's ready to go. You don't want it too hot. Just a little bit of olive oil in there. Get a spoon and make our little cakes. And these are awesome just on, you could do these for appetizer, a starter, you know, a little smoked salmon on these guys. You want to hear that sizzle in the pan right away, because if you're not hearing that, your pan isn't ready. So you don't want to smash them down. Just be really gentle. You want them to be nice and airy. This is exactly what you're looking for, is when you move the cake as a whole, it moves. So you guys can see now that there is brown starting to get around the side, and I think these guys are ready to go. So we're just gonna kind of slowly, oh, you see how that lattice is in there? It's crispy on the outside. That egg is gonna kind of give it a really beautiful, soft, almost custardy-like interior, and give that a little swirl around. You can smell the sesame seed and the pumpkin seeds in there. And the onions cooking is just a really beautiful, earthy smell. So we got our Vitamix blender here. Have our sorrel, arugula, and basil in there. Take our stock, pour that right on top. And you don't want too much liquid in there. You just need enough. You want a nice, thick green puree. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little touch more salt in there. Turn it on. Oh wait, we're in the field. Let's go blend it. What you want is just enough stock to really puree those greens. I'm gonna turn it all the way up and then turn it high blast. And look at that, how beautiful and green that is. That's the sorrel, basil, and arugula. And the smell out of there right now is so herbaceous and beautiful. So let's get back to our dish. That was a long walk. Got our puree done. We're gonna actually make our pea shoot salad first. So we're gonna do just a little tiny bit of lemon zest, just like that. We're also gonna take 1 chive blossom and just kind of chop it up just like that. In she goes, nice purple, pretty look to it. And then when you're making little salads and stuff like that, you want to do the oil first. You want to kind of coat and protect the pea greens because they are so tender and nice right now. And we're going to go a little bit of lemon juice as well. So just a little splash of vinegar, little pepper, pinch of salt, and kind of give that a little toss. Use your fingers if you want. We're gonna get we got our hot pan here for our wilted greens. So we're just gonna go just a touch of olive oil there. And then we're gonna take our greens, just a little sizzle. Good temperature there. We're also gonna put our salmon back on the grill here. Finish that up. Tend to our Tend to our greens here. They're just kind of wilting up a little bit. Little touch of salt and a small amount of pepper. Now we're gonna plate this beautiful dish. Got some lovely pottery here. We're gonna go in with the greens. Beautiful wilted greens, still some nice texture to them. And then on top of that, we're gonna go with our little wild rice pancakes. And then we're gonna go in with our salmon right on top of that. 2 of those pieces in there. So if you're doing this at home, you could actually put this into a nice vessel, like a ceramic or porcelain vessel, and go to the table and pour it around. It's quite dramatic. A beautiful, vibrant green sorrel, arugula, and basil puree. And then we're gonna finish the dish with this beautiful pea tendrils. Just right up on top. And there it is. Simple, elegant, healthy, beautiful. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. So support your local farm. Next week, these things will be about that much higher. And stay hungry, my friends.